I am Phil.
And Tyrone. And we're the founders of Musekese Conservation.
Near enough 10 years ago, we embarked on a journey, still ongoing to this day, to establish a classic safari company in Zambia's Kafue National Park. We did this as a means to conserve the park and its unrivaled biodiversity for Zambia. This was with a view to eventually set up a conservation project. However, faced with an increasing trend and severity of wildlife crime across the region, we decided to bring these plans forward and a little over 2 years ago established Musekese Conservation. Our vision was to use tourism as a vehicle for a sustainable conservation model. And for a while this worked, with up to 70% of our operating costs covered by tourism and tourism-related activities alone. Musekese Conservation is working with Zambia's Department of National Parks and Wildlife, or DMPW, to secure a core area some 2,500 square kilometers, the size of many national parks in itself. The area lies to the east of the Kafue River and north of the M9 road that bisects the park. For many years, this area lay dormant, inaccessible, and unprotected. It is, however, an important area in the context of the greater Kafue ecosystem as a source of wildlife and acts as a corridor between the northeast of the park and the vast central Kafue. Its potential for tourism and the subsequent benefits to local communities cannot be understated. Our primary objective has been to empower DMPW, facilitating the training of new wildlife police officers, or rangers, from adjacent communities and establishing an anti-poaching base in a strategic location. From this base, we are able to provide the resources necessary to keep anti-poaching teams in the field for longer, helping them to be more efficient and effective, and safer too. This has been done by establishing high-tech, GPS-enabled radio communication equipment and acquiring reliable vehicles and boats, all monitored through a central control room.
It'll come up as a ping GPS coordinate on here, and it'll show that that radio is active or inactive if it's switched off, where its last position was when it was switched on.
Rangers are the heartbeat of any national park, and it is important to keep them well equipped. To stay ahead of the curve, we must provide them with supplementary training, such as crime scene management, patrol techniques, and advanced first aid, to mention a few. All critical aspects of their role in conservation, and provides the rangers with the motivation and skills necessary to stay in the game. Through strong relationships with cooperating partners such as Panthera, all the teams have been trained on the Spatial Monitoring and Reporting Tool, or SMART.
This is the SMART device which we use for data correction. Whatever we see during our patrols, we indicate in the site.
This allows us to assist DMPW in understanding the spatial and temporal trends of not only illegal activities, but also of wildlife populations. Each and every patrol returns with a wealth of information, and how this is utilized helps to determine the effectiveness of these interventions. After all, it is an increase in wildlife populations that we all seek. We also work to protect the ecological integrity of the Kafue National Park with an emphasis on fire protection, and each year create many kilometers of fire breaks. Unplanned and out-of-control bushfires threaten the health of the landscape, and if left unchecked every year, could diminish the habitat for wildlife. And we recently converted an old safari vehicle into a firefighting truck. Wildlife monitoring is also an important aspect of what we do, and through regular monitoring of collared individuals with partner organizations such as DNPW and the Zambian Carnival Program, we are able to monitor and predict the movements of key or threatened individuals or groups of animals, and deploy anti-poaching teams to areas where the perceived threat may be higher. This is known as the halo effect, and it works too. In the last 18 months, we've seen a notable decrease in the prevalence of snares and snare-related injuries or deaths of wildlife. However, in the face of an increasingly uncertain future for tourism in a post-COVID-19 world, we must be prepared for an almost inevitable increase in wildlife crimes, as many livelihoods are threatened. The Kafue landscape is vast and its borders populated by people living in poverty. There are ways to overcome this, but it requires collaboration, communication, and empathy, all of which form our guiding principles. We recently welcomed a project coordinator, and in the coming months a research coordinator joins us as we try to further our contributions to the protection and understanding of wildlife in the Kafue National Park, together with DMPW and our cooperating partners. Now, more than ever, the future of these wild areas relies on the strong relationships that we have forged with organizations such as the Lion Recovery Fund and Zambia's very own Elephant Charge Foundation. The kindness and generosity of guests and friends of the Kafue, not to mention local businesses, including fellow camps and lodges who support conservation, make an enormous difference. If you would like to find out more and for a full list of our supporters and partners, please contact us on the email address below or visit our website www.musekeseconservation.com.